A ruling is expected today concerning the Georgia D.A. in former President Trump's election interference case. And SpaceX's Starship rocket successfully launches into orbit, but faces issues on its return to Earth. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Friday, March 15th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. A ruling in former President Donald Trump's election interference case in Georgia is expected at any hour. This one not concerning Trump, but Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. The judge in the case telling a local TV affiliate his decision should be out sometime today. Lawyers for some of the defendants have called for Willis to be disqualified over her relationship with Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor she hired for the case, claiming she benefited financially through vacations they took together. Both Willis and Wade have testified over the accusations, denying any wrongdoing. In a filing earlier this week, Willis urged the judge to reject the motion, saying the defendants have not proven there was a conflict of interest. Trump and 18 others pleaded not guilty to all charges in the case last summer, 3 of those defendants later taking plea deals. Former Trump advisor Peter Navarro's bid to remain out of prison was denied by an appeals court on Thursday. Navarro had argued he should remain free while the appeal of his contempt of Congress conviction plays out. The 3-judge panel disagreed, which means Navarro will have to report to a federal prison in Miami by next Tuesday to serve a 4-month sentence. Navarro was sentenced in January for refusing to cooperate with the House committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Navarro claimed he could not testify before the committee because the former president had invoked executive privilege. As Israel continues its operations in Gaza, the Hamas-run health ministry says at least 20 people were killed while waiting for food in Gaza City on Thursday night. More than 100 others were said to be injured. The ministry calling it a, quote, targeted attack by Israeli forces. Israel's army denying that claim, saying they will thoroughly assess the incident. It was just 2 weeks ago when hundreds of people were reportedly killed while trying to reach aid trucks. Again, the circumstances were disputed. The news comes amid reports that Hamas submitted a temporary ceasefire proposal, which would see the release of groups of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Israel's war cabinet is expected to convene today to discuss the plan. The father of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter following his mother's guilty verdict last month. It's a landmark case, the first time in U.S. history parents have directly been charged for deaths resulting from a mass shooting carried out by their child. Prosecutors argued the parents ignored obvious warning signs and failed to secure the family's gun. Ethan Crumbley shot and killed 4 students at a Michigan high school in 2021. James and Jennifer Crumbley were convicted on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, a count for each victim. The parents will be sentenced in April.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It was a historic moment for space travel on Thursday as SpaceX conducted a test launch of the largest rocket ever built. It was a 3rd attempt for SpaceX's Starship rocket, and this time proved to be the charm. The rocket took off from the company's Texas facility and successfully reached orbit. SpaceX saying it was the furthest and fastest that Starship has ever flown. But there were issues on its return back to Earth, the spacecraft apparently breaking apart upon re-entry. Despite that ending, SpaceX still calling it a phenomenal day. NASA plans to use the Starship rocket to send astronauts to the moon in 2026. Finally this morning, the tennis world is abuzz over what occurred at a tournament in California on Thursday. A quarterfinal match at Indian Wells had to be delayed due to a swarm of bees. The disruption happened just 19 minutes into the match and lasted for nearly 2 hours. A man with a vacuum, braving the swarm, was summoned to clear the bees from the court. In the end, Carlos Alcaraz overcame his opponent and the bees to win. These are your top stories for this Friday. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great weekend.